Welcome to Fraud Friday, where each week we feature a new fraud tip segment. My name is Norm McKay, and I'm an AARP volunteer, and I'm coming to you from my home as we talk about fraud scams and how they relate to COVID-19. Almost as soon as the pandemic started, the scam artists went to work. Today, we are going to give you some practical strategies to use to keep yourself and your loved ones safe from those scammers. So let's get to the subject matter at hand, shall we? Scammers look to capitalize on the news of the moment, especially if the headlines can instill fear and motivate people to act. The ongoing outbreak in coronavirus is no exception. While scientists and medical professionals are working overtime to find ways to test and stem the spread of the virus, the Federal Trade Commission warns us that there are bad actors out there that are working just as hard to find an opportunity to deceive consumers, to steal their money and sensitive information. Over the course of the next 20 minutes or so, we're going to talk about why the current coronavirus pandemic presents this opportunity for scammers and some of the most common types of scams that are out there. So let's get started, shall we, with the first to talk about why coronavirus itself. Well, scammers read the headlines just like we read the headlines, and they're aware that this is a major shift in our everyday life. We've all been through it. We're all talking about it. We're all living it. With this shift in activities comes further fear and anxiety. What are we going to do? The fear of the unknown. What keeps you safe? What's healthy? What's not healthy? When to wear a mask? When not to wear a mask? All these things add to the angst. You add that to the financial downturn and the job losses, and the scarcity of goods, from potatoes to toilet paper, the scarcity of services, from getting your hair cut to being able to just walk into the store that you like. All this is a perfect environment for fraud and breeds fraud and makes all sorts of opportunities. So let's start at the very first one, the most obvious one, the most recent one, the stimulus payments. If you get a request to help you with the stimulus payments or the current corona stimulus payments, hey, be suspicious. They're going to ask you to help you deposit a check into your bank account. This is a complete stranger calling you, folks. They're going to ask you for your bank account. They're going to ask you for your social security number or other payment information. Just like the other ones, you don't want to give them that information. This could come in the matter of a phone call, a text mail, or any other source. They might claim to be a reputable agency, a part of the government, maybe the IRS, maybe the Treasury Department, or even the Social Security Administration. For example, we've heard stories that the day the stimulus was announced, what was it, 6 weeks ago, whatever, that day, people were getting phone calls from complete strangers offering them help on what to do and how to get their benefits more quickly. So what can you do to protect yourself from these scammers? How do you avoid it? Well, first of all, avoid or ignore any kind of contact from someone who's offering to give you help. Ignore the phone calls or anything else. Don't ever, never, never, ever share your bank account information or your social security information. You've heard that from us many, many times in other seminars. Get your information directly from irs.gov. If you have a question about these checks, if you haven't received one yet, get a hold of the Internal Revenue Service, not the Social Security Administration, not the Treasury Department. It's the IRS that's issuing these checks if you haven't gotten one already. Payments have begun going out. Most people have received them, and they've been distributed automatically. If you're a Social Security recipient and you haven't filed your income tax return, you're still going to get these payments automatically. And people with supplemental security income and people with eligible children for those extra $500, they're going to get that automatically as well. So you don't need somebody to show up or call you up and help you deal with the facts. Another form that we have, a form of scam anywhere, fraud, is in health testing. You're going to be receiving advertising or phone calls from people that are promoting or trying to promote unproven products claiming to be effective in preventing or treating coronavirus. Watch out for ads, websites, emails, social media that push supplements or even cures. Scammers might represent themselves as the CDC or the World Health Organization, and they're going to call you up with free advice. And they're going to say things like, here's how you keep safe. They're going to tell you to wash your hands, wear a mask, and social distance. Then they're going to slide right into a pitch to sell you some kind of supplement that'll ensure better health. It's a scam. They want to separate you from your money. Remember that. Scam emails and other contacts purporting to be recognized organizations urging you to complete mandatory COVID testing. No, there's no thing as mandatory COVID testing by a certain date. It doesn't exist, at least not right now. It doesn't. Scammers will use emails or robocalls to convince consumers that they can have an in-home test kits. They can purchase test kits, or they can request likely information or personal information just to get you, again, get information from you or separate you from your money. Two stories I've heard, both very common. One was in Louisville, Kentucky. The other one was Grand Rapids. It's an organization that purported to be a church. They set up tents in a vacant lot with big signs, free COVID testing. You're in the safety of your own car. What could be wrong, right? You pull in, they swab either your ear or your nose. Then they ask you for a donation. They've got somebody in front of the car, somebody behind the car. You're in line. You can't get out. They've got a bucket in the window asking you for money. Again, be very, very suspicious. So how do you protect yourself? What do? Well, be armed with information. First of all, important to know, there are no known treatments of the virus. There are no cures. There are no vaccines. They're working on them, yes. Ignore any offers or suggestions that there may be some of them out there. Follow the guidance of your own personal doctor, the CDC, or other known health professionals that you trust, that you know. Avoid any scare tactics of any special offers to close deals right now. Don't open any suspicious emails or attachments to texts or links or anything like that. They're going to try and sell you some medical products or some global health crisis or something like that. If you don't know it, ignore it. And don't ever, never, I can't say this enough, never give your Medicare number to anyone outside of your trusted healthcare provider. No government agency, no legitimate healthcare organization will send you unsolicited mail offering to sell you coronavirus testing kits, personal protective equipment, or face masks, or anything else. You know, there are always these charity scams that are out there, and right now with the coronavirus the way it is, it's no different. They're taking advantage of natural disasters and tragedies. They tug at our heartstrings, our patriotism, they work on our emotions. And the coronavirus pandemic, it is no exception. These scams often require you to act quickly. They prey on your emotions, they prey on your vulnerability, and they use high-pressure tactics to get you to donate to some charity. They even may purport themselves to be a charity by using a sound-alike name. You want to stay away from these things. Don't believe them. Put your scam antennae up, so to speak. These folks, you know, there's a big difference between the American Red Cross and Red Cross of America. Which one's legit? They both sound straight, but you don't know. You want to protect yourself from bogus claims. And how do you do that? Well, you arm yourself with information. We're going to give you some websites. Here are two of them right here. www.charitynavigator.org and www.give.org. Now, if you want to donate to a charity, I'm not stopping you from doing that, and we're not telling you not to, but make sure you know the organization. Make sure you're aware of the organization that you want to donate to. Ask these people that are calling you up, ask them, okay, how much of the donation actually goes to the charity? In Michigan, they are obligated by law to tell you if it is a professional fundraiser, all right? Ask them, how much of a cut do you get versus how much is going to the charity? And Hey, ask if it's tax deductible. It doesn't hurt to ask you. Now you're assuming the offensive and you're putting them on the defensive. They've got to react to your questions instead of you reacting to them. And again, here's this word: never make donations in cash, prepaid gift card, or wire transfer. I don't know how many times we have to tell people that, but we still have to make mention of it because people still do it. Now, we've all been stuck at home, haven't we? We've been doing it for 3 months. We're bored. We're bouncing off the walls. We know that. Well, so do the scammers. The scammers are aware that we've been alone. They are aware that we're bored. They're aware that we're vulnerable. So now they're going to contact you and they're going to ask you about things like offering to clean your home, offering to sanitize your home, clean your air ducts, anything that so they can get their foot in the door. Remember, they're strangers, folks. They're complete strangers who want to come into your home. You're letting a stranger come into your house under the guise of cleaning your house for you. They're going to ask for cash up front, and they're probably not going to do the services that they promised. Another scam that's out there are romance scams. Now, we're bored, and some of us are lonely because we're living at home alone, and that we're very vulnerable. You don't have to be on a dating website or any kind of dating site to be a victim of fraud when it comes to romance scams. These folks prowl social media, and if anywhere you have listed that you're single, widow, or widower, they're going to glean that information and they're going to use that information to their advantage. And then they fall right into the old scheme of getting you to send them money or send them goods or anything else under the guise of romance and wooing you to do what you don't normally do. Another one that's out there that's gained a lot of traction the last couple of weeks anyway are puppy scams. We've been hearing, no, you're home alone. It's a good time to get a dog. And who doesn't like puppies, for crying out loud? Well, now you go to a website, you're going to see an email come across with a picture of a cute little puppy. Don't you want to buy this little puppy to bring into your home to be your companion? Send me $75. And you know what happens? You've just bought a puppy that doesn't exist. So how do you protect yourself? What are you going to do? Well, first of all, only accept assistance from your family members, your neighbors, your friends, or an organization that you know can provide you the services you need under the rules that you set. Avoid answering any calls from numbers you don't recognize. In our house, we use caller ID to our full advantage. If we don't know the number that comes across that screen, we don't answer it. If they really want to talk to us, they'll leave a message and we'll call them back. If you do pick up, don't ever engage in conversation. Just tell them no. Only connect with people and social media that you know well. And never, there's that word again, never send money or goods to someone you don't know. You might even want to develop a refusal script. We have a very simple one in our house. If I say no and they persist to overcome that no, because there is training on how to overcome the word no. When they persist and they say, when I say no, I ask them, and you can use this, just what part of no don't you understand? Now, you may have to get rude, and that's not our nature. We're nice people for the most part, but you may have to get rude, and so be it. You're protecting yourself. Other scams that are out there, especially nowadays with such high unemployment rates and things like that, scammers are looking to lure job seekers into their traps. Avoid opportunities that sound way out of line, that sound way too good to be true, especially work from home scams. A couple of them are, one is a mailing scam. I'm going to just send you some pre-addressed envelopes. All you have to do is take them to the post office and mail them. I just want you to send me enough money to cover the cost of the envelopes and the postage. You send them the money, you never see anything. That's one of them. There's another one that's popping up here in Michigan that's rather prevalent down south, and I just heard about it a couple of weeks ago, and I had to do some research on it myself. and that's a car wrap scam. Car wrapping is when a company pays you to put their logo on your car. So I'm going to call you up and I'm going to say, hey, all you have to do is drive around all day, and I'm going to pay you for driving around because my company's name is going to be on your car. Just send me enough money to pay for the decal and the postage to send it to you, and boom, it's yours. Well, you know the old thing, that it sounds too good to be true. It probably is too good to be true. Keep that back up there. Another really, really bad part of this are the loan scams. A lot of us are up against it financially. Our house payments are behind because we're out of work. Our credit cards have fallen into disarray because we're out of work. We're not making any money. Be careful. If you are in that situation, talk to your mortgage company. Don't get a consolidation loan with somebody else. Don't get yourself into a situation where you're dealing with a stranger. You want to make sure that you're dealing with your mortgage company or your credit card company. And when these credit counseling services contact you out of the blue to help you consolidate your debts, you want to be a little careful before you dip into that. Another dark side of this is extortion and blackmail. Sounds pretty heavy, doesn't it? But it's out there. Scammers will contact you and claim that they have evidence of illegal or illicit activities by either you or your spouse, maybe visiting adult websites or something. They'll even try and convince you by using a password that you may have had in the past. Now, remember, we've always told you, change your passwords on a regular basis. So the password they give you may be an old one that they purchased from somebody who purchased it from somebody who purchased it from somebody who stole it from somebody else. So you want to avoid that. You want to ignore them. And remember, no one has access to your device except you. So they don't know what you're looking at or anything else. Now, if you want to file a complaint, if this happens to you, there's a website for everything. You can go to the Federal Trade Commission's website. That's ftc.gov/complaint if you want to file that complaint. So feel free to do so. Now, I encourage you to use AARP's website, or go to AARP's website, or aarp.org/fraud watch network. There it is on the screen for you in bold yellow. We have a special section devoted strictly to fraud, scams, and the coronavirus. Now, you don't have to be a member of AARP to have access. In addition, it's free, and the resources are online. Again, there it is for you, aarp.org/fraud watch network. You can sign up for free, what they call watchdog alerts, and you'll get an email every couple of weeks. You'll also be able to keep track of the latest criminal activity that's going on in your part of the world, so to speak. Again, you can get the Fraud Watch Network online. It talks about scam tracking, and it's a good source of information. More information for you. We want to inform you with as much information as we possibly can. If you've been a victim of scam, if you have any questions, write this number down. 1-877-908-3360. It goes right to our Fraud Watch Network helpline, where we have trained volunteers who are experienced in helping people deal with fraud and overcome fraud. So, in wrapping up, recapping, what can you do? First of all, protect yourself, protect your personal and financial information. Let your voicemail or your answer machine screen your calls. Use that caller ID to your full advantage. Do your research. Actively seek reputable information from trusted sources. One source, hey, here's a plug, an AARP plug. Now this is the AARP bulletin that comes in the mail. We just got it last week. My wife was looking at this, and there it is, page 30, right there for you, is an article right out of the chute, unsolicited by me or anybody else. There it is, the tricks that scammers are using for COVID-19. So engage your inner skeptic. Use the information that's available to you. Use the advantages. You're paying dues to AARP. Why not use all its services to your full advantage? If you do become a victim of scam, hey, share the information with people. I was a victim. I had my laptop hacked a few years ago. I share my information with as many people as I possibly can. So take that information. We dumped a lot of stuff in your lap today, but use it to your advantage to stay healthy, stay well, and please stay safe.